Here is your full emotional, long-form YouTube-style story with a powerful hook, smooth pacing, emotional depth, and natural encouragement for viewers to like and subscribe, written in plain paragraphs, no headings, suitable for a 40-minute narration. Everyone watched her, but no one sat with her. The whispers moved across the wedding hall like a cold breeze. And that's exactly when the camera zooms in, right on the woman in the wheelchair, sitting alone at the very edge of the celebration, pretending she didn't hear the hurtful things being said behind her back. If you're watching this, stay with us till the end. What happens next will warm your heart, and if it touches you even a little, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more powerful real-life inspired stories. Her name was Elena Rayner, 35 years old, brilliant, calm-eyed, and the youngest female CEO in her industry. People admired her success, her charm, her quiet strength, but today, none of that mattered. Today, she was just the woman in the wheelchair, sitting alone at her cousin's wedding, trying not to look like she cared. The truth was, she did care. She cared because everyone else had someone. Couples laughed, families took photos, friends shared inside jokes, and Elena sat there, her hands folded tightly in her lap, reminding herself she was here to support her cousin, not to be noticed. But it was hard, harder than she wanted to admit. Her accident 2 years earlier had taken away her ability to walk, along with her engagement, half her friendships, and the confidence she once wore like armor. Since then, weddings felt less like celebrations and more like reminders of who left, who didn't stay, and what she had lost. She forced a smile when her cousin passed her, busy greeting guests. "You're okay, right? I'll be back in a minute," she said for the 5th time. "I'm fine," Elena lied again. She wasn't fine, and she wasn't expecting anything to change. But life, as always, had its own plans. Across the hall, a little boy tugged at his father's sleeve. The father, a tall, warm-faced man in his late 30s, looked down. "Daddy, why is that lady sitting alone?" the boy whispered, pointing directly at Elena. The father gently lowered the boy's hand. "Don't point, buddy. But maybe she just needs someone to talk to." The boy nodded with a child's pure honesty. "We can sit with her. We don't know anybody here either." The father smiled softly at the boy's courage. His name was Daniel, a single dad who had fought more battles than he liked to admit. Raising his son Liam alone after losing his wife had taught him to see people differently. He understood loneliness. He understood what it meant to show up in a place where you felt out of place. And today, he instantly recognized that same heavy silence around Elena. He took a breath, fixed the collar of his simple dress shirt, and walked toward her. Elena noticed someone approaching and instinctively straightened up, preparing herself for another shallow conversation or worse, someone asking if she needed help. But instead, Daniel stopped in front of her with a gentle smile. "Hi," he said. "I'm Daniel. This is Liam. We don't know anyone here, so we were wondering, could we sit with you? Only if you don't mind." Elena blinked, surprised by the question. People offered assistance, yes, but their company, their presence, their time, almost never. Yes, she said softly, "I'd like that." Daniel pulled out a chair next to her, while Liam hopped into the one on her other side. From the moment they sat, the energy around her shifted. Liam chatted with the fearless honesty of an 8-year-old. "You have really nice hair," he said. Elena laughed, a real laugh, unexpected and warm. "Thank you. And your chair looks cool. Can it go fast?" "Liam," Daniel whispered, embarrassed. But Elena shook her head with a smile. "Actually, yes, it does go pretty fast." Daniel looked at her, relieved she wasn't offended, and their eyes met. For a second too long. She quickly looked down, feeling her heart do something it hadn't done in a long time, flutter. As the evening went on, they talked. About work, about life, about loss, about resilience. Daniel didn't look at her like she was broken. He looked at her like she was someone worth knowing. And that alone felt like a gift she hadn't felt in years. Dinner came and went. Speeches filled the hall. Laughter spread through the room. But for Elena, the moment burned into her memory forever came when the slow music began, and couples headed to the dance floor. Elena glanced away, hoping Daniel wouldn't notice the shadow that crossed her face. She always hated this part. Not because she couldn't dance, but because it reminded her of everything she couldn't share anymore. But Daniel did notice. He turned to her slowly. "Can I ask you something?" he said. She raised an eyebrow. "What?" He took a breath. "Will you be my date for the evening? Officially, I mean." Elena froze. Her breath caught in her throat. I can't dance," she said quietly, looking down at her motionless legs. Daniel crouched so he was at eye level with her. "Then we won't dance. We'll just enjoy the moment. Together. If you'll let me." Her eyes softened. No one had asked her like that. No hesitation. No pity. Just kindness. Real, human kindness. "I would love to," she whispered. And so they did. Not dancing. Not pretending. Just sitting together, watching the lights shimmer across the hall, sharing stories, smiles, and moments that stitched warmth back into both their hearts. Other guests watched, some with surprise, some with envy, but Elena didn't care. For the first time in 2 years, she didn't feel like a burden. She didn't feel invisible. She didn't feel alone. Liam eventually fell asleep across 2 chairs, and Daniel gently placed his jacket over him. "You're a good father," Elena said softly. He smiled. "I'm trying." "And you're—" Daniel paused, searching for the right words. "You're incredible, Elena. I hope you know that. Wheelchair or not, CEO or not. You're someone I could talk to forever." Her heart tightened, in the best way. When the wedding ended and guests began to leave, Elena hesitated, afraid this perfect moment would fade the moment they stepped out of the hall. But Daniel looked at her with calm determination. "This doesn't end tonight," he said gently. "If you want, I'd like to see you again." Elena felt tears gather in her eyes, not from sadness, but from something she hadn't felt in so long. "Hope. I'd like that," she whispered. They exchanged numbers. But more importantly, they exchanged something deeper: trust, possibility, a chance at healing. As she rolled toward her car, she glanced back. Daniel was watching her with a smile that felt like sunrise. For the first time in years, Elena looked forward to tomorrow, and the day after that, and every chapter waiting to be written with someone who saw her heart before her limitations.